3, 2, 1.
Get it back and get down. They made the rejection.
One small step. One giant leap for mankind.
Chicago Bulls have won their sixth.
Yo, 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 what is going on? And welcome to another live edition of Sports Force. I am Joe Scurto. Unfortunately, Brian Bolster not able to make it. But hey, what's better than Joe and Joe on a Thursday? My man, Joe Morley, you know him. Joe, how's it going, man? Welcome to Sports Force.
Yeah. I'm glad to be here. The Joe and Joe connection is back. You didn't tell me it was live. I'm shocked. I didn't put my makeup on. I'm not ready for this.
You look great.
We'll handle it. We'll handle it.
Hey, you look great. Hey, we're going to actually mix it up because as much as we want to talk about the NBA, it's going to be the NBA Finals, which we will talk about the NBA, but we're going to mix in some baseball and we'll even throw in some football. So all three sports, and we'll be happy to answer any type of questions that you may have on this live stream. But shall we get into it? The Phoenix Suns. I'm just going to let you rant right away because you literally said the Phoenix Suns were going to the finals, and here we are. They beat the Los Angeles Clippers by a large margin in Game 6. They beat them in 6 games. How are you feeling? Do you think the Suns are going to do it? Evidently you do, but how do you actually feel now that they're actually here and they're 4 games away from raising a trophy?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Joe, for giving me a little bit of credit. I'm nobody. I'm just Joe Morley. I made a prediction in December before the season started. I said the Phoenix Suns were my team. I rode with them all year. Took a lot of hate from it. Saw a lot of people start jumping on the Phoenix Suns bandwagon with me. Saw a lot of people just hate on them. And now they're finally here. Did I think it was actually going to happen? No. And like I tell people, it was like I think they gave them a 4% chance to win the NBA Finals, and now it's up to like 54% or 60%. Woo! I'll take it. Phoenix Suns. I don't know, Joe. I get that feeling that they have it. That when you're watching this team, everything's going their way, except for Game 5 of that last series against the Clippers. Everything went their way. Everything has been going the Clippers' way or the Suns' way, and they just feel like a championship team. And I know a lot of people are saying, "Well, the injuries. They had the easiest route because of injuries." Nobody remembers that. Nobody's going to remember that, Joe, when they're holding that trophy. Nobody's going to remember that 10 years from now when they say 2021 NBA champions, Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, that's the thing, the injuries. And now you look at the East, you got no Trae Young, you got no Giannis. So their role might be easier, but I got to give them credit. I think they've been the best team in the entire playoffs, whether it's AD who was injured, it was Kawhi who was injured, it was Jamal Murray who was injured. They have been the most complete team in terms of depth. And they've also proved that they could win without Chris Paul, which they did. And of course, they're better with him on the court as he scored 40 points last night in Game 6. But yeah, this is the most complete team. This team has been hungry. They finished the season strong. And it's always those teams that finish the season hot you have to worry about. And we saw it firsthand last year with the Heat. They remind me a lot of the Heat last year, but I think they're even more talented in a roster standpoint. And yeah, I think they're the favorite right now, Joe. I really have to just give you that credit that they are the favorite right now. And I think they've been the most complete team. And we saw it last night because this was a game that they easily could have lost going into the game. You're on the road. It's 3-2. The Clippers already came back multiple times. So, and look at that. We got Tony shouting you out as well.
Tony said he'll never forget. He'll never forget.
And we all know that Tony isn't too happy about the Suns led by Devin Booker headed into the finals. But we go more into this game. I want to talk about the Patrick Beverley shove, which was I probably watched it 5 times today. Absolutely classless. It's just something you don't really like to see. And I'll admit Chris Paul was flopping all night long. But hey, that's a part of the game. He said something to Beverley. He let his motions get the best of him. And it was just clearly a cheap shot. Look at that. I mean, Paul's whole back is turned. He's talking to his teammates and he just shoves him. And this wasn't a light shove. He put full force into it. He definitely deserved everything he gotten. Do you think this could lead to a suspension next year, Joe, or what are you thinking?
I think it definitely needs to. I think. I mean, I went back and I've been watching a lot of the tape, and people have been putting it all over the internet as well. And I was like, okay, did Chris Paul say something when he passed him? Did he say something when he passed Beverly? No, he walked by. They kind of looked at each other, and then Chris Paul kept walking, and then Beverly walked and just pushed him from behind. That is the cheapest shot that you could take. Like, come on, man. Like, you couldn't go up to him and like tap him on the shoulder and get him to turn around and then push him. Like, I don't know. I think this shows unsportsmanship. How do you not, as an NBA commissioner, how do you sit there and not punish somebody for this when you know that young kids are sitting at home watching this game and they're going to be like, oh, Pat Beverly did it. I can do the same damn thing. When I'm losing, I'm going to go push somebody too.
Yeah, it's just a bad example that he set. And you could really tell the whole game, his body language. Even when Chris Paul went down, he went and hopped over him and he was laughing. He's just a dirty player. It's easy, like simple as that. He is a dirty player. He's one of those guys. He's not a good offensive player. He's there to play defense. He gets scrappy. That's why the Clippers like him. But plays like that, you just scratch your head because it's not good for the game. If I was a Suns player, I mean, if I was like the 12th man, I probably would have just went at him, but I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't set a good example either.
Well, yeah. I'm with you. I didn't want to get into the Beverly and being a dirty player, but he was showing tendencies early in the series of being a horrible person, like on the court and doing some things, even when early in game 5, the first game 5, when they were blown out, Chris Paul, of course, you said that Chris Paul's been like falling and flopping and stuff, but remember he mocked him after an injury. Like, was it a real injury? Was it not? He still mocked him. It's like,
right. That's what I was saying. He like hopped over him. He was like skipping and laughing. Yeah.
It's like that, those kind of things. Like, I'm okay with celebrating as a team, but you can't do that. And again, like you said, if somebody shoved my teammate like that, if somebody came up and shoved you, Joe Scurto, when we're walking around, I'm not just going to be like, hey, back off a little bit. I got your back, Joe. I got your back. We got the same name. I got to defend you just a little bit. Even if it's just getting in the guy's face saying, what the hell are you doing? Like, it didn't seem like anybody went and defended him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, even if you were a bench guy, yeah, I kind of get if you're Devin Booker and you're DeAndre Ayton and you got a game to play and you don't want to face suspensions. But even that, I mean, he just pushed your leader, arguably the best player in the postseason for you. You're not there without him. And they just, even when you look at that picture, there's plenty of people standing behind him. Literally, they saw the whole thing happen. They saw him turn around and just shove him. So yeah, I do think that their teammates should have backed him up. I thought it was a poor look, and I know it might not be a good example if they start a fight, but hey, he started it. Yeah. Finished it, right?
I mean, I don't know about stomping him into the ground like Jay the Plug is saying, but have his damn back. Do something, yeah. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. Like anything, even a shove back or grab him, get him out of your huddle. He's in the team huddle. So I'm not really sure why they didn't, because that's a pretty brutal shot. That was one of the dirtiest shots I've seen in basketball in a while.
Yeah, I think I'm glad they took care of it and threw him out. But right. Yeah, somebody needed to stand up for him. Yeah, Brian is a Raider fan. Yeah, Brian is off this week. I'm stepping in for him right here. Let's see. Crowder would have choke slammed out of Pat Beverly.
Yeah, even Crowder, he's a guy that isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't do anything.
Jay, what kind of like wrestling move should they have done to Pat Beverly? Like, would you want to see the tombstone pile driver or what I don't know, the what's the Brock Lesnar move? I don't know, Stone Cold Stunner, something. I don't know. It's a hard line to walk because you don't want the whole team, like you said, you don't want the whole team to go beat the crap out of them. You kind of want somebody to stand up and be like, hey, what you did was wrong, and we're going to back our guy. But then again, you also don't want to lose anybody for the NBA Finals. Like, hey, we're moving on to the next step.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing. That's the only criticism that I won't give them if you're a star and you don't want to miss another game. But it's kind of crazy how nobody protected their guy. The
old donkey punch, huh? The good old donkey punch.
Even like a shove or anything. But hey, they don't care what Patrick Beverley thinks. They're going to the finals. They get to enjoy of watching and sitting back to see who wins, the Hawks, Bucks. Game 5 coming up, so that'll be interesting. But let's switch it up because we got some baseball. It's a special day. It's Happy Bobby Bonilla Day, a legendary day. We don't think of the 4th of July. We think of July 1st because that is when a legend was born, Bobby Bonilla, who's been getting paid by the New York Mets $1 million at this exact day and month since 1999. So any words to really give about Bobby Bonilla, Joe, as a baseball fan?
FYI, Lester's finisher is F5. All right, thank you. Bobby Bonilla Day. Yes. Okay. I'll take it back just a little bit. I know you said that he was getting paid. I'm going to have to correct you just a little bit. I don't like to do that, but I will correct you just a little bit. So his contract was supposed to get paid from 1999 all the way till whenever, but then they didn't pay him. So like in 2005, 2006, they made this agreement to pay him $1 million a year all the way up until 2035. 2035. This dude, what are we in 2021? He still has 19 or what? I don't know. I'm not good at math. What is that? 14 more payments to get?
14 more million. I didn't know they actually paused it and then they started paying it. So
yeah, and that's where he's getting all the money. It's all the interest that was because I think it was only a $5 million deal.
Yes, it was. It wasn't a big deal. I mean, because it was 1999, that the deals were not that big. And Bonilla was like a solid player, but this guy had he wasn't great. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was a 280 career hitter. I mean, that's solid, but not someone who's still getting paid for another 14 years.
73 or 74 when the deal's done, when he actually gets that last million. Wow. And then the new owner of the Mets, because the Mets were just sold this last offseason, they're making it a big deal now. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, go for it. What did you say?
It's Bobby Bonilla Day, and they're doing like you could sleep at the stadium. You win an Airbnb at this. I don't know. Why not just pay the dude off?
Well, I saw a tweet by their new owner, who's hilarious, by the way, on Twitter. I mean, he says some crazy stuff, but that's despite the point. He was saying that he didn't care about them giving him money. They think it's like good for the Mets, and they want to celebrate him. So yeah, they're actually making this an actual thing because the Mets didn't really care before. Baseball fans would make it a big deal that, hey, it's Bobby Bonilla Day, but they're actually making it a holiday. And I didn't even know they're throwing promotions now, giving them Airbnbs.
Yeah. So God forbid something happens to him. Yeah, it does carry over to his family. So this is what happened in 2000. The Mets agreed to buy out the remaining $5.9 million on his contract. Instead of paying Bonilla the $5.9 million at the time, the Met agreed to annual payments of nearly $1.2 million for 25 years, starting July 1st, 2011, including a negotiated 8% interest.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. It's one of the most absurd things in sports, in my opinion. I really do think Bobby Bonilla is one of the craziest stories in sports.
So the last time he played for the Mets was 1999, and the last time he played in the major leagues was for the Cardinals in 2001.
Yep.
Yeah, and it does say 72 years old. Holy.
That dude is living, man.
Like,
he's living either way, but like he's still got 14 more million to go.
See, but he is actually doing, like, I don't know if he started it or where it started, but players are now asking for deferred payments like this now. So it's actually working out. I know Mookie Betts has a big deferral in his contract where if he gets traded from the Dodgers, it all becomes like payable now. But if you look at Mookie Betts' contract, it's deferred for a lot more years after the original 12 years. Allen Iverson, a lot of people don't know this about him. Allen Iverson's contract, there's some of it that he hasn't got paid, and I think he gets start getting paid within the next couple of years on his contract. So Bobby Bonilla gets the recognition, and he gets his own day, July 1st, because everybody knows the story. But I think he kind of said it like that. Yes, all MLB contracts are fully guaranteed, but it just depends on how they pay it.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, these guys can make the money like way after the fact and just keep on getting paid. I think it really depends on how they draw up the contracts. MLB is definitely the more complex of terms of how these guys get their money, because if it's a 12-year contract, it's like they necessarily don't need to give them all the money unless, like, as long as they give them the money, basically.
Yeah, see, I wanted to double check on the Allen Iverson story that I just told you to make sure I was correct. But yes, in 2001, Allen Iverson made the decision that save him for his future, and he set aside $32 million in a trust fund that he can't touch until he's 55 years old, and that's from his Reebok deal. So he won't be able to touch that till 2030. That's when Allen Iverson will see that money.
Wow, that's crazy. I actually did not know that. I'm sure there's all other like players that we probably don't know. I mean, I'm surprised I've never heard of that, because Allen Iverson is a much bigger figure than Bobby Bonilla, but he's not, essentially.
But I think if it was originally worked into their deal, people don't really hear about it. But like Bobby Bonilla, it was such a big deal because of of what Bernie Madoff and the Mets organization went through, that it made it a bigger deal than it was. And plus, he went from making $5.9 million to over 30 million, 35.
Right.
That's ridiculous. But yeah, there's not to go off topic a little bit. Sorry, Joe. I know, but there's a guy from the Carolina Panthers. He wasn't last year. He wanted to get paid in Bitcoin.
Really? I did not hear about that.
Yeah, and he actually like doubled his salary doing it that way.
Wow, that guy just fleeced everyone. Do you know who it is, or is it like a random guy, or what?
He's it was an offensive lineman. I could probably look it up because, hey, that's the power of the internet right now, right?
Yeah, that's
Russell Okun made an unusual request while playing for the Carolina Panthers last season, asking to convert half of his $13 million salary into Bitcoin. The Panthers obliged, making him the first athlete in sports to be compensated by cryptocurrency.
Wow, and he made money from it.
So he got 6.5 million in cryptocurrency in Bitcoin. So I don't know what that equaled out to. Oh, there. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's a lot of money.
Right. Yeah. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but either way,
he the plug news.
So. Money. Yeah, Okun. But yeah. So happy Bobby Bonilla Day. We'll stick with the MLB though, Joe, and we're gonna talk about the craziest thing I've seen in a while that's occurred in baseball. Not only that, they implemented the rule in the middle of the season, and these substance crackdowns is just getting crazier and crazier. Last Sunday, we saw Hector Santiago of the Seattle Mariners be the first guy to get tossed out, had it in his glove. They put it in a bag. It's like he had a gun on him, literally. That's how they made it out to be. And I never cheered for an opposing team's pitcher so bad in my life than when German Marquez was 3 outs away from a no-hitter, because I would have loved to see him throw a no-hitter without substances at Coors Field. It would have been perfect, but he had a one-hitter through 9. But, Joe, what are your thoughts? Because I really haven't talked to you about the substance. You already know how this is going in terms of me, and I might be biased because I'm a pitcher-friendly guy, but do you like this? Do you think it's absurd? What you thinking here?
I hate it.
Same.
Not because, okay, if you want to crack down on it, but don't do it in the middle of the season with no training, no nothing. You don't know what you're looking for. And in this Hector Santiago situation, he's coming out and saying exactly what Trevor Bauer, and you could say what you want about Trevor Bauer, if you like him, hate him, or whatever. He put out a video before the crackdown happened and said, look, if you do rosin and sweat, is this ball, is it legal or not legal? And this is exactly what Hector Santiago is saying. He goes, I just use rosin, and now you're getting me for it. And it seems like there's no rules for it. You saw the other day when Max Scherzer pitched. Max Scherzer got checked 3 times, and one of them was at a request of the opposing team where they said it's in his hair, and he had to go take his hat off, rub his hands through his hair, do all that. Angel Hernandez, one of the worst umpire. If he probably is the worst umpire in the league, right? Him and Joe West.
Joe West, I would say, but yeah, they're hand in hand.
They make it about themselves, and those are the 2 guys I was worried about, right? That I'm worried about, like they're going to make it about themselves. If you piss them off, what's going to stop them from going, oh yeah, his hand was sticky? Because there's nothing about it. So, like, I don't know if you saw Angel Hernandez the other day. He checked Trevor Bauer, and he actually grabbed Trevor Bauer's hand and was like rubbing it and all that. And Trevor Bauer mentioned it in the post conference afterwards. He was like, "I'm surprised none of you guys asked me about Angel Hernandez." It's like, but it's a joke. You're gonna ruin some people's careers just because of the perception that they're gonna get as a cheater or whatever you want to call them if they get suspended. Nobody knows who really Hector Santiago is, so it's not that one's not a big name. But when a big name gets walked off for 10 games, that's when we're going to worry about it. And then comes postseason. What happens if this happens in the postseason?
Right? Yeah, like I don't like that's something the MLB hasn't even thought of. I still think it's crazy that you implement a rule 2 weeks before the All-Star break. Your season is almost at the halfway mark, and I think it all started with Tyler Glasnow. I think that was a real thing. Him getting hurt, he's sticking with his guns and blaming that was the case. And I don't think he's too far off because all these guys have a routine. They're used to using these substances. He uses sunscreen. It's like people put sunscreen on their skin. So, I mean, I don't know what is so crazy about that. And he was kind of blaming that's why he hurt himself. He hurt his UCL. He's probably going to be done for the year. He was having a Cy Young season. Like, he was literally dominating. He finally found a slider, and some people were saying he found that slider because of the substance, whatever. But, yeah, these guys have a routine, and you throw it off, and now you have nothing. You don't have any grip. You got to get used to a different grip. And now more than ever is tough to pitch in the heart of summer because it is hot. You are sweating. Your hands are slippery. And it's only so much the rosin bag or a little dirt can do. So, and with the playoffs too, yeah, you're exactly right. I don't know what they're going to do. What we're going to see not Max Scherzer because the Nationals aren't making it. But,
yeah.
Let's say, are you going to see Clayton Kershaw get thrown out of a game because he had a little, I don't know, sunscreen or the spider stuff, whatever you call it?
Yeah, the spider tack or
Yeah.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to run with, how they're going to do it. I wish they would have came out with a lot better rules, and which would have been nicer in the offseason. But baseball has known this has been going on for years. For years, this has been going on. Ever since they changed that ball up and people were complaining about it, then all of a sudden, what baseball thrives on is the numbers, the offensive numbers. They want to see the home run ball. They want to see runs on the board, right? Where that's like the casual fan where you and I love baseball and we can sit there and watch a 1-0 game and we'll be fine with it. But the casual fan, the guy who takes their kids to the stadium, they want to see a 5-6 game. They want to see a multiple home run game. And it's been 10 days since they actually put the rule into effect, but it's been more like a month since they've been talking about it and getting the pitchers ready for it. So it's probably been a month. And they said within this last month, the offensive numbers are up. The offensive numbers are up. Is that because the pitcher stopped using the substances, which basically it's not taking away the slider. It's just adding more rotation to the ball, right? The more spin rotation that's what they're trying to get away from. But they're saying offensive numbers are up, but we don't know if that's because of the pitchers not using the substance anymore, or it's just because it's heating up. And what happens in the summer, like you said, the ball heats up, everybody heats up, and the ball starts flying a little bit more. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I know they're going to use that number against the pitchers and be like, well, the offensive numbers are up. It means it's working.
So I have something that I would tell the MLB, because this is bad for baseball. And like you said, casual fans aren't going to be watching. The super fans, yeah. But look at this. MLB spider tag ban since 6/21, right? 75 games. Actually, we'll go before they banned it. So up to 6/20. 1,067 games. Batting average, 239. Runs per game, 8.84. Ks per game, 17.8. Now we go to the ban. 237. So the average is actually down since the ban. Runs per game, 8.49. Less. Ks, same. So the runs are less and the average is less since they did that. And that was 75 games. So that was the other day. I think that was on Sunday. I saw that tweet and I was like, this is insane, because they sent it out once San Diego got thrown out of the game. So the averages are basically either the same, if not they're down. So it's crazy.
Yeah, you're not gonna. I don't know what you're gonna do to fix the game, but it's not gonna. You're not gonna change it overnight. You're not gonna get what you want.
Right.
Let the pitchers do it. I mean, if they're blatantly bringing out the Vaseline like back in the day and doing their thing, okay, knock them. But sunscreen, sweat, rosin. I don't know about the spider tag. I don't know how many people are actually using that, but sorry, I just read Jay the Plug's comment and I'm like, threw me off a second, but yeah, I don't like it. You know what I actually think killed the game is you trying to promote the home runs, the launch angles, all that stuff. Now they're not even allowed to mention that in broadcast anymore. The launch angle or like of what they're trying to do, the swinging of the bats and trying to go for home runs instead of the actual. You don't see players hit for average anymore, and that's what changed the game, not the pitching. The pitching never changed. The pitching's always been there. It's either you hit the ball or you don't hit the ball. It's what you got the batters going up there and trying to swing and try to swing for the fences. That's what's changing the game and changing the offensive output. I'm just confused on what triggered them enforcing this, the no hitters. Yeah, Mike, I think that is what got their attention on most of it and got a lot of. They're saying a lot of players were complaining about it. We're complaining about the offensive stuff and what was going on. So, yeah, that happened to cause MLB to do it. And then MLB said, oh, okay, we'll look into it. And then they were actually going to look into it. They actually came out and said, look, baseball players, we aren't going to do anything about this. Pitchers, please continue doing what you're doing. We're not going to affect you guys. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to do anything in this season. Then I think the no-hitters came into effect because what are they at right now? 7 no-hitters, I want to say. They had one with Madison Bumgarner, and it didn't count because it was only 7 innings, but it was a whole complete game. That one didn't count. And, yeah, I think players started talking about it and getting it going, and then MLB said we got to do something bigger and better, and they decided to enforce it now. I did lose Joe Scurto, so I am without him for a little bit, but we are talking about the MLB foreign substance here on Sports Force. I'm Joe Morley on Sports Force, and we'll see what's going on. Maybe I can bring in another person, but yeah, Joe Scurto has gone off the screen for a second. But yeah, if you guys have any questions on that, on the foreign substance, I'll talk about that a little bit more. But it is live Sports Force today. But yeah, I did lose Joe Scurto for a second, but I'll catch up on. Yeah, Jay saying use the old snot ball. Ooh, that's a little bit gross right there. But yeah, we got a couple more topics we can talk about. I was hoping that Joe would be back, but he's not back yet. But we'll move on to the home run kings right now. The totals for we're talking about offensive numbers being down, but I don't remember seeing, maybe just because last year of where the major league was and they only played 60 games because the season was starting around this time last year. So, hey, Mike on the mic, welcome to the Sports Force. Thanks for joining in.
Calling in the backups.
Yeah, we lost Joe Scurto for a second. He not sure what happened, but we'll bring him back in whenever he comes back. But Mike, we were just talking about the MLB foreign substance crackdown and what was going on with that, and that just leads us right into who's the home run kings. If you look at, we were talking about the offenses being down, but I don't remember at any time before the All-Star break the home run totals being like this. With Ohtani in for the Angels has 28 home runs right now. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Fernando Tatis both have 26. And then Kyle Schwarber of the Nationals, he has 25. Like, to me, that's crazy. Like, are we looking at somebody getting 60 this year?
That would be absolutely insane. I mean, their averages are going for 60, but can they keep up this pace? That's so impressive, especially with the fact that these guys, Tatis, Ohtani, and Vlad, are so young. This is the future of baseball we're seeing starting to emerge right here.
Yeah, and Acuna has 22. One of my favorite players, Rafael Devers, he has 20. So the numbers are there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 players with 20 or more home runs are at right now.
We could have 10 players hit 45 home runs this year.
Another 3 with 19.
And that's only going to get better. You're going to see those numbers go up as these foreign substance rules crackdown continue.
Yeah, the more you crack down on the pitchers, the more you allow these hitters to get it. And this is before, like I was just talking with Joe Scurto, this is before the summer baseball days, before the heat comes and the balls start flying even more. Ohtani is thriving. Mike Trout is on the 60-day DL. Ohtani is like stepped in and just taken over the LA market. And he's probably not even getting people talk about him, but they should be talking about him more. He should be on every commercial. Tatis, Vladimir, like you hear more about Fernando Tatis Jr., but you don't hear about Ohtani that much. You don't hear about Vlad Jr. that much. You don't hear I don't know what baseball does, Mike. Baseball is not marketing these guys correctly, and I don't know how to fix it, but you have a guy with 28 home runs in the LA market, and how many people know about him?
I mean, baseball doesn't market at all. And I'll give this last take because I see Joe's back in there. They don't market at all, to be fair, Joe. Mike Trout, me and you both are in the Los Angeles area. Mike Trout has been here for his entire career. And yes, me and you know about him. Yes, even the casual baseball fan knows about Mike Trout. But he is not a superstar in the city of Los Angeles by any means as far as the advertising goes. I don't ever see Mike Trout billboards. I don't ever see Mike Trout commercials. And they're going to do the same thing with these guys. And that's why the sport of baseball is going to be looked at as the lesser sports to the NBA and the NFL because they don't know how to make a superstar. It's just like with wrestling in the WWE. You got to make the superstar. You can't just put them out there and just expect them to thrive. There has to be some kind of build-up to them becoming a superstar that they should be doing right now with Tatis, Ohtani, Vlad Jr., Cody Bellinger, all these young guys that are going to be ballers for baseball for the next decade.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on either. I think his Wi-Fi is like having issues. Oh, he's coming in on a second.
Yeah, I know he's having issues. Joe Scurto. This is Joe Scurto and Brian Bolster's show. We're not trying to take it over, but you do see Joe, myself, and Mike on the mic here. Ohtani.
That's what we need to see. That's the stuff that needs to be done. Baseball. If you need help from the Warzone Sports Network, the Warzone Sports Network's got you.
Oh, man.
Joe, tag in like a hot tag. Ready?
Yeah. What a nightmare.
Oh, well, that was like what kind of magic was that right there?
I like that. I'm kind of nervous. My Wi-Fi, I'm not too sure what's going on here, but I came in briefly, heard what Mike was saying. I'm figured you guys are onto the Vladdy, Ohtani, Tatis. Have you touched upon this yet, Joe, or what?
I was talking about I haven't seen this in a while where these numbers are so high. We were talking about there's 10 guys in baseball right now with 20 plus home runs. Ohtani has 28, Vlad Jr. and Tatis have 26 each. I was saying, are we going to see over 60 home runs by one of these guys?
I don't know. Maybe not over 60. It's kind of tough. And I know, obviously, Schwarber, too. Schwarber has 25. Schwarber's like the only player in history. No, there was four players in history that have hit 17 home runs in 75 at-bats. It was Barry Bonds, Mike McGuire, Sammy Sosa, and Kyle Schwarber. and we're sitting here saying that the pitchers are too dominant, so we got to take away all this stuff. But I think 55 would be considerable. One of these three guys. I think Vladdy probably has the best chance, if we're being honest, to hit 55. The Rogers Center is a hitter-friendly ballpark. But, man, what Ohtani's doing right now with 28, leading the majors and throwing well with a sub-3 ERA. Joe, if he stays healthy, I know it's kind of sidetracked with the 60 home runs, but if he stays healthy for, let's say, 8 to 10 years, he'll be one of the greatest players ever, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, it's insane what he's doing. But I don't know. I don't think we will see 60, but I think 55 or at least one or two 50 plus is very possible at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning towards that we will see 60 from at least one of them because, like I said, we're at 10 people with 20 plus. We're going to heat up. You got the pitching substance. They're cracking down on the pitchers. They're going to do something. And Schwarber, I was talking about how Ohtani doesn't get the attention that he deserves. He's still, even though Mike Trout is on the 60-day DL, people still look at the Angels and think of Mike Trout. They don't think of Ohtani now. And Project Dribble, Tony Tucker just said, Warzone Sports Network will give him the attention he needs and the attention he deserves. Yes, we will build up Ohtani. He doesn't need it. He does it. He does the backing on the field, and he's on fire. Schwarber, on the other hand, is a different kind of character, and I don't know how much we want to go into him, but he's always those home run or bust kind of hitters. I think right now he's batting 249, but he's a 233 hitter in his career. And I think he thrives on a team like the Washington Nationals who aren't winning right now. And that's the kind of team that he hits those. I think when he was put in the spotlight with the Cubs, he didn't hit these home runs. Like he did, but not like in pressure moments. You know what I mean? So there's no pressure on him in the Washington Nationals to come up there and smack all these home runs. And I think he's going to thrive in those. And being on a losing team like that, that's not going anywhere, he's going to get the opportunities to hit these home runs. And if he's sitting at 25 right now, the All-Star break is next week. I think the All-Star game is actually 2 weeks, the 14th or 13th.
Yeah, it's that week of the 13th or 14th.
He might be one of those guys. I know the other guys. Oh, Ohtani's on a bad. They're all on bad teams. You know what I mean? They're all on bad teams. So nobody's going to give them the Bonds treatment. Nobody's going to start walking these guys. They don't care. They're up 7-0, and they're going to give up a home run to Ohtani. They don't care.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Blue Jays are definitely by far the best team because they're actually over 500, but unfortunately they play in the AL East, which has been loaded with the Red Sox and the Rays just dominating. But yeah, they're probably not going to get that treatment. They're going to get the opportunities. I mean, maybe Ohtani, if anyone, because they don't have Trout and like who else? I know that kid Walsh has been unbelievable, the first baseman. He actually won the game last night against the Yankees. But yeah, these guys will have the opportunity. You're right. I think definitely we'll see 50 home runs. 60. When's the last time we've seen 60?
Yeah, see that. It's been a while.
Bonds?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been down. I don't know if we could look it up, but I don't know off the top of my head. But I think it's been a while. Like that's what I'm saying. Like just to see, Ohtani will have 30 before the All-Star break.
Oh, easily. Yeah, he needs 2 more. He could do that in 1 game. He's had multiple home run games and he's had like two home run games in the last week.
I want to see him throw a no hitter and then why batting and hitting home runs too. I think that'd be like, say like he goes up and he hits 2 home runs and he throws a no hitter, and like I want to see that guy. I want to see that game where nobody else hits. He's the only one that got hits and scored the runs, and he pitched a no hitter. That'd be awesome.
It's crazy. Yeah. He's 3-1 with the 3.60 ERA. It's like, yeah, 3.60, whatever, but he has 28 home runs on top of that, and he throws 99 miles per hour.
But 3.60 ERA in the American League, which most ERAs in the American League are a little bit raised, right?
Yeah, they're a little inflated. Definitely, yeah, because you actually have to pitch against 9 real hitters and not 8 and then a pitcher. So it's still, he's still doing well. He's still pitching well. 3-1, 3.6 ERA, not bad. But
I know that I wanted to. When he was first coming over, a lot of people were iffy, and he wanted to go to a team that was going to allow him to do both, pitch and hit. And the Angels were one of the only teams that allowed it. I know a lot of teams wanted him, and I wonder how many teams are regretting it now.
Yeah, I know. Like seeing how good because when he came up, I thought he was going to be a pitcher. I kept saying they should just keep him as a pitcher. Even last year, like just let him focus on one. Now it's like, man, you should just let him do both. He has 28 home runs. I mean, he's the best hitter in baseball right now. Those teams are all kicking themselves because look what he's doing.
Yeah, when they need a position player to come pitch, it's unfair. Hey, we'll bring in Ohtani to come pitch. Ah, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll make a double switch. We'll put Ohtani in. He'll throw his 97 mile per hour sinker, and we'll be all right. But yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see if we'll see 60. But all 3 of these guys have been lights out. Brian is in the house.
Boston,
the GOAT. Right now, he's the GOAT. All 3 of those guys have been the GOAT. But let's finish the show strong. Hopefully, my Wi-Fi stays strong. Davante Adams and the Packers. This could be the next disaster for Green Bay. If Aaron Rodgers does walk, do you think they strike a deal? Or do you think it's going to get delayed because of the Rodgers madness?
See, I'm a Raider fan, right? You know that. And it's been coming out that Derek Carr and Davante Adams were college teammates, and they want to play together. And Derek Carr said, hey, we already know, and even David Carr said, people already know in the regular Raiders organization that Davante Adams' contract's up at the end of this year. Derek Carr said he's going to do full court press to get him there. And then Davante Adams even came out and said, I would love to play with him. But then today it comes out that says Davante Adams and the Packers are working towards a massive deal. The Packers know that if they don't, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think the Packers know that they need to get Davante Adams under contract now, this season, before anything happens with Aaron Rodgers. Right now, you can be like, oh, yeah, Rodgers is going to show up. He's going to be here. He's going to be here. But you got to get him under contract now, because if you wait, you're going to lose out on Davante Adams.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I was thinking, too. They need to get this deal done before they even play a game this year, or even before that, because if Rodgers is gone, there is no chance Adams is coming back, because he is going to be frustrated. And yeah, why not? Just go play with your college quarterback. Go play with your buddy and see what happens, because we all know what he can do. And there's Mike coming back at you.
Yeah, he wants to play with the wide receiver. Like, Keenan Allen needs to stay on the field to play with him.
True. And Keenan Allen, hey, he's getting up there in age, but we'll see. But yeah, I don't know where he would go. But yeah, they got to strike a deal now, and I honestly don't think they're going to.
I wonder if Davante Adams if it would be smart for him, a business decision, to take the money now, because Davante Adams on the open market, no matter who it is, you're going to tell me like every team out there doesn't want a Davante Adams?
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, all 31 teams would be jumping on him so quickly.
Except for the Titans, right? Bolster would be like, well, not my Titans. Not my Titans.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they're pretty set now. They got Julio Jones. But yeah, this is definitely a interesting storyline because I always feel like in the NFL when they're saying they're in the process of striking a deal and when it's controversial, Mike, you are correct on that. That's always controversial. Then normally it's not going to happen right away. I feel like this is going to be a long process. We already know Adams has Rodgers' back. This is still going on. So they're going to have to show him the money literally for him to just jump on and say, hey, I'll take the risk. Like we said earlier, Rodgers is going to come back and I'll take my money. But if they don't do that, I think they're going to lose him. And I just have a weird hunch of this direction that Green Bay's heading that they really very well could lose both, to be honest.
Yeah, and DeAndre Hopkins, I just looked it up, is the highest paid wide receiver this year, right? Is that what it is? His number it's 25 million or something like that, 27 million. It doesn't count it like that doesn't count as much against the cap. It's worked out where it only counts as like 12 million. So you're looking at paying Davante Adams upwards of $30 million. That's quarterback money. That's quarterback money. And can you afford him with Aaron Rodgers on your team? And I know the Packers are like, well, if we keep Jordan Love, he's going to be on that rookie deal. We can pay him. But then Davante Adams like, I don't want to play for Green Bay if Rodgers ain't here. I don't know. I don't think a deal gets done. Like you said, it's so complex to get a deal done. You got to try to rush it because training camp starts at the end of this month.
Yep.
If I'm
July,
correct.
yeah. In July.
And if Aaron Rodgers is not walking in that door at training camp, I don't see Davante Adams rushing to sign that pin and losing money.
Yeah, right. And I also think he's going to see if there's actually a chance that Rodgers will come back. Because face it, he's not going to sign if there's doubt that Rodgers will be there. And I'm sure he's going to try to figure it out because he's made it well known with the media. He's throwing F-bombs, doing his thing, that he's got Rodgers' back, and that's his guy. I mean, obviously, they both have helped each other tremendously over the last few years, and they've been arguably the best quarterback wide receiver duo. So, I don't think he's going to be in a rush unless Green Bay just shoves him some money and shows like, hey, you cannot turn this down. And the only thing is because they do have a rookie quarterback. And maybe they just I don't know. It's complicated, but long story short, I don't see him coming back. I don't.
Yeah, I think Green Bay has finally hit that mark where they're done. They're gonna go through a little tough spot in the organization. Where every organization does it, but I think Green Bay is finally hitting that mark. I
agree, but. Hey, it's been another real episode. I apologize for the technical difficulties there, but still got this new Wi-Fi. It's the first time it screwed me over, but it's been another edition of Sports Force Live here in the Warzone Sports Network. Joe Morley, I really appreciate you joining. I appreciate everybody who is on the stream, who's commenting, who stayed around for the show. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, check us out on all these streaming platforms that we are on, such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are everywhere. We got weekly shows. We got live shows. And until next time, we'll see you next Wednesday. And hopefully we got Brian Bolster because it's actually been 5 weeks since the OG game.
Bolster come back.
Yeah, right. I wish we had that video. We could blame it all on me. Everyone, we'll see you next week.
3, 2, 1.
Get it back again. Oh, they made the rejection.